Oh shoot. I think you're good now.
Good evening, Internet. Today is Monday night, and you know what that means. It is the Degenerates with Dice Monday Night RPG Talk Show. Tonight we have Joe,
Hey everybody.
we have Noah, who's going to be here shortly, and the Internet's favorite of shit, so he says. And then you've got me, I'm Jen, and tonight we have a couple of different topics for you. We're going to do our gaming wins, so make sure to share yours as well. We're gonna do alignments. So, was it like the chaotic good and
Yeah.
chaotic evil and chaotic neutral and whichever way you want to align, or if we do need alignments and all that good stuff. And we're gonna answer any questions that you guys have with anything TTRPG. I think we're also discussing the one D&D one or the one D&D.
Virtual
The
tabletop, the
Yeah.
pre-alpha build. Yeah.
Mhm. Going to discuss on that a little bit tonight. So, without further ado, I'm going to slide it over to Joe and
Uh.
let's get this party started because it's Monday night.
Yep. Looks like Noah's going to be joining us in just a second here. What was I going to say? So gaming wins. Yeah. Gaming wins. See.
I'm I'm carrying in groceries. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I told y'all he'd be here.
Be our
Yeah.
bizzle.
Yeah. So.
I like the shirt. Did you notice the shirt, Naughty by Nature?
Oh, I did not. For some reason, his good. Okay. If you want to give me your gaming win while I try and
Sure.
get him live on here.
Good deal. My gaming win for this week actually happened today. It was I finished Baldur's Gate 3. I did a Bard playthrough, and it had a good ending to it. It's not the ending that I wanted, so I have already started a new playthrough to see if the ending that I want is even possible. And I will tell you, I had probably about maybe 130 hours in that playthrough to complete it. So
Oh,
it was not bad. That game has definitely been worth its money.
awesome.
It has. It's been a beautiful game. A couple of little bugs here and there, but nothing that would be frustrating and nothing that, if I would quest where I'm like, I can't figure out what to do next with this quest, look it up, do that a couple of times. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Apparently, my perception in game is not as high as it should be. So it's all good. What about yours?
So mine, other than honestly, I haven't really had one. I haven't really played anything since then. Um, I guess it's that I'm like maybe 75% done with my world building for my new campaign. We did our
Nice.
lesson, yeah, we did our session zero, and we did got a bunch of stuff done with that. And now we are doing. Now I have to write out everything, and I'm having
So this
kind
is
of a
your
stressful time with it.
Mothman and Appalachia group, and you went to try to
Yeah,
get some other
yeah.
cryptids.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult actually. I need to get now our yeah. So it's like as a GM, I kind of have a hard time with it because I like everything to stay malleable because you know it just gives me more flexibility as a game master. But I guess right now it's just I have to write it out because they want the background for it, but I've never been in the position where I needed to do that, so it's kind of stressful. But it's coming along pretty nicely, so we'll see. But I'm just going to give them the caveat that hey, subject to change, because I like having a dark side to all my NPCs in case I need to make them mess with the character some way, and that's
Yeah,
you can't do that if you're once it's all written out. So we'll see.
I'm
Um,
excited to hear how it turns out.
I hope well. Yeah, I gotta. We're 21st will be our first official session of actual playing, and I hope it turns out well. But I won't know it. Yeah, get there.
Well, the worst that can happen is everybody quits, which I doubt it, because
Yeah.
even if it's a train wreck, everybody's like, well, let's see how bad the train wreck can get. And they may turn it around and it ends up being something totally different. Who knows? You may have somebody
Yeah.
riding the Mothman over California. Okay, Leathercraft guy. Yes, I'm seeing that as well. Whereas your audio and video aren't quite, but I thought that was just me.
Oh, okay. Uh. Okay.
It seems to be like a 2-second delay.
Like a delay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's still. Hi.
Yay, first time watcher. Yay, welcome to the crazy. Well, not yet. Not till Noah starts his shit. We all say that lovingly, though. If Noah is ever quiet for any reason, you know that there's a problem. And that boy definitely has some Bard Gang energy.
How about now? I think it works now. Okay.
Yes, much
It
better.
was a bus issue. Okay. Cool. Yeah, well, I know. Well, welcome, Leathercraft guy. It's nice to see you. So okay, so let's well, I guess no one wants to talk about the. We'll wait for him on that.
Okay.
Um,
Lord
I
Randy.
guess we. Could-
Hi,
Yeah.
Brian.
Lord Randy be praised. Yeah. Let me. Three. Backstage is having issues right now. Yep. Guess lot three.
Hello, Noah.
Hello? Is this thing on?
Unfortunately.
Hello, Christ. I'm about to sin again.
It's been 2 seconds since your last confession.
What's a confession?
Noah's like a toddler who's ever quiet, prepared to see terrors beyond these worlds. Yep.
guys, look at this. Are you ready for my gaming win? Are you ready? This has absolutely zero to do with
Give
gaming.
me
But
one
okay, you tell me when you're ready.
well, backstage is having.
Oh, that's fine. I think. Am I in the stream?
Audio wise.
I can see you.
Bang, bang.
He's in backstage. It's not streaming is over.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry
hang on,
guys. Twitch is having issues
Oh,
with
it flashed.
backstage lately. It
That's okay.
flashed, but then
It's
it
fine.
went. Yeah. We'll deal with
All
it.
right, so
later.
y'all can see me though, right? That's all that's important.
Yeah.
Because I can get some confirmation here. Okay, so
Oh, and there it goes. It just had a massive delay to it. So let me.
we're good. All right, bet. All
I
right,
assume
so
so.
I picked up my phone to see.
so I got dressed.
Alright.
Right, we're going out to dinner. Right, me and the wife and
Yeah.
all the kids.
You got dressed by
right?
yourself?
I did. Right, and I even picked up my own clothes.
But
I have to now
did you
'cause-
tie your own shoes?
No, because I wear Hey Dudes. They slip ons.
Oh yeah.
Autistic, bro. Come on. I got tie
That
shoes.
makes
Get outta here.
sense. Yeah.
That and Velcro makes my tinnitus go
Quick
off.
quick
so
question.
slip-ons.
Quick tism question. Quick tism question. Do
Okay.
you not like the feel of socks? Because I don't like the feel of socks on my feet.
I adore socks.
Do you? I don't like the
In fact,
feeling
when
of
my wife
socks on
bought
my
me
feet.
these, they say Wernies on them, but I thought it said
Uh,
Wieners. I was real confused.
Like wiener
But
socks? Okay.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck, bro?
Or they
Okay,
do
anyway.
have such a thing, but
So
we
your boy
can
Yeah,
got
see
that's
dressed.
you
true.
on camera now.
Yeah,
Okay, your boy got
yeah.
dressed, right? By himself,
Yeah, okay,
put the
Brian,
shoes
yeah, you're
on,
with me.
had it, right? And then my wife was like, hey, I just want to let you know, you looking pretty good today. I was like, oh, thanks, bro. And I went like this, and I tore a hole in my shirt, my armpit right here. And then I spent 30 minutes trying to put one right here, but it wasn't working. But I got this one. I was like, ah! Hey, look at that, son. Sleeves got tight, boy. Tell you what.
So you made yourself a little vent.
Huh? Yeah, I made myself a little air
Yeah.
conditioner vent. You know, the day before
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going to drop down into the low 70s down here in Texas.
It's only a tease, though. It's only your fall
Yeah,
tease.
it's only a
Yeah, no,
tease,
this
yeah.
this is false
Yeah.
fall. This is
Yeah.
100% false fall.
Well, it's an El Nino year too, so it's going to be toasty for a while, I think.
So what?
Yeah, El Nino.
El Nino.
It's a weather current where everything gets a little bit warmer for a year.
Wasn't that a hurricane way back in the gap?
There was a
We have some
hurricane in
hurricanes during that
California.
season.
She had a hurricane.
No, like what the fuck was El Nino? It was like back in the
There was
early
an El
90s.
Nino and an El
No,
Nino. But it's,
El Nino is a weather pattern. It happens every few years.
Bro, I'm
Yeah.
fucking retarded. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good. Not a lot of people know about it. But it just like it just means El Nino years are warmer than normal years, so that's why part of So,
Got it.
so I guess we could talk about the one D&D virtual tabletop news just came out today. Nerd Immersion
That I
did a
couldn't
whole
get
thing on
into?
it. Yeah, that Noah was not allowed to be a part of, even though he's like one of the very few people who actually wants
box.
it. He actually
well, you're
wants
the
to
whole
be a
box
part of it.
regardless. Now it just depends on how quickly you go through it.
Listen, I want to be a part of it so that I can verify Joe's concerns.
Yeah.
I do this for y'all.
El Nino,
Okay, I'm
Nino,
doing
yeah.
it for y'all. I'm a man of the people.
So you don't
The
need to
people's
verify
champ, if
my
you will.
concerns.
Thank
You don't need to
Seth.
verify my concerns. You and me both know it's going to be microtransaction hell. Like that, we already know that. Like, and it's fine. I don't care because I'm never going to use it. But I have seen bits and pieces of the footage. Doesn't look to be to my taste. It's a little weird. I I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm an Owlbear Rodeo guy. So for me, it's just like,
Owlbear Rodeo.
oh hey Alexander RPG.
Yeah.
Microtransactions are your friends, yeah. Also, just so you know, Alexandria, the Library of Alexandria, you should definitely look into it. And then also, there's the Alexandrian blog that you should. But yeah, so for me, it's just yeah. The Library of Alexandria is at every con, by the way. And if you have any questions about any game ever, they will know, and they will probably have a copy there. So if you have a very specific game you want to play, ask these guys. They have a Discord. Their Discord is very active. If you ever have a question about the Alexandria Library, they will be able to answer it and give you a very specific game that you want to play.
I heard you got social
So-
diseases from visiting active Discords.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Or am I thinking of something else?
Well, no, it's Discord. You can
Uh,
totally get social disease.
Post
Should
a
I start
link
throwing
in the
my
chat
beer
if you
boxes
want
away?
to about
Yeah,
the.
you probably should. But, sorry, what were you saying, Jen?
I was
Oh, there you go.
telling
Thanks
them
for the
they
link.
should put a link to their Discord in the chat.
Yeah,
thank
there
you.
it goes. Yeah, so what was I going to say before I went off on that tangent?
Sorry,
doesn't
I
look
had
to be
move
like
my
my- it doesn't
empty
look-
beer cases.
You're good. It doesn't look to be my taste. I like simple over complicated because I think that anything like D&D already has slow combat. You know what I mean? So to add all this other shit on top of it just sounds like it would be more boring. Like I get the animations and all that seem cool, but like overall it would just be more boring. But this is coming from somebody who likes to play OSR games, which has very fast combat. like Neon Lords campaign is almost ending. Get on Kickstarter today, back today, so that you can have those cool new adventures and or a cool rulebook. Sorry that my dog is snoring at like 50,000 decibels behind me.
I don't hear anything. You're good.
Awesome. Hey, what's up, Jono? Redbeard. Okay. Awesome. Oh, thanks for the follow. Lord Randy be praised. So what was I going to say? Yeah. So from an OSR perspective, it just like I don't want anything that can slow down combat. I get the animations look cool, but they just don't do it for me. Like it's not worth the added time in game to do. So
Sorry
your
about that.
thoughts? You're all good. Yeah,
My
Neil
thoughts
does
on
the
the
library
virtual
PC.
tabletop.
Yeah.
Well, first off, hello, Jono Redbeard. First time.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Alexandria RPG.
Thanks for stopping by. By the way, I just realized I can't see anything follow related. I can just see chat. So
Really?
if I don't
No,
acknowledge it,
I'm
don't yell at
just,
me. Yell at Joe.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the OBS. I'm seeing all the OBS, and it's not actually making sound on OBS, which is also weird.
Hmm.
I had sound things, but backstage is weird right now, so let's just not.
Does
get
it
into
play the John Cena theme when somebody follows us?
No, it plays the anime WoW. I think I can make it the John Cena theme. I just have to find a short one. Like
Oh, we need the old Vine video where they prank call that lady like 10,000 times. And his name is John
Super
Cena.
Slam.
That's what we need.
Do,
That's
do
what
you
we
support our veterans? Well, yeah, of course. Well, a veteran needs your help
I'll
this
tell you,
week.
it's one of the greatest videos of all time, hands
Awesome.
down. Oh, okay. Anyway, sorry.
Awesome.
Sidetrack.
Thanks for
Yeah.
checking
No,
in.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I need to see it.
Oh,
I
that's
need
a
to
great
touch
way
it.
to spend your prep time.
I need to touch it. I need to see it because it reminds me everything I've seen. It reminds me of Tailspire, but simplified.
Yeah. But I think it's just I don't know. It like there's a bunch of weird stuff too right now, but it is in pre-alpha. But from what I've heard, it's just sort of like players have too much abilities. Like I remember Nerdbird said that he walked away for a second to like refill his cup of water. When he came back, the players had spawned an entire army of black dragons in the in the in the inn, not the inn, but the tavern because they could.
The fuck out of here, bot!
Can you get rid of that while we're talking?
Yeah, I will.
I don't
A
think
biting
we have
peck
mod
bee?
privileges again.
You do have mod privileges. I gave them back.
The fuck out of here. There's only
so
one
that's
abiding
got-
peck in here, and it's my left one. Because my right one's not coming in for some reason. I don't know. I think I need to put more weight on my right side on chest day.
Lots of taking over the mechanoids. So yeah, I just like I said, D&D combat's already too slow. Like adding all that shit and animations onto it just seems like for me, 5th edition is too slow. And I get that people love it. It's just for me, it's too slow.
Right. But
And like adding animations and like all that shit. And also, it doesn't have a grid.
But here's the thing, like we talked about a couple weeks ago with them hooking up Critical Role and being like third-party support. Maybe they continue to do that in the future, and then maybe
well, yeah,
you can use another system, but in their VTT, which I could care less about the actual content. I just want to get my hands on that fucking engine and see what it's doing.
Well, it's Unreal Engine. It's Unreal Engine, so theoretically it could be modded, but it's whether Wizards will allow us to mod it or not would be the thing.
Right. But I need to know if the way that they have constructed it is going to make it easier for me to use than Tailspire. And if it's easier for me to use than Tailspire, then I mean, I might fuck with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure if it's going to be easier for you to use, but it will be easier for your players to use because of D&D Beyond.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think because it's like it plays more like a video game, so all they have to do is drag and click their little thing around, and they can just automatically click on their character sheet whenever you want to check. So for new players, it's a lot easier.
That's also important. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, the GM has to be able to put in more work on the back end than the players, rolling
Yeah. Yeah.
dice or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
That's just
That's
always going
part
to
of
happen.
that's part of the job. It's part of the
yeah,
deal.
this is part of running that DMG. But
Yeah.
eh, like I said, I've only fucked around with Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, and Tailspire. I love Tailspire just for the full on fucking like 3D Unreal 5 environments and
Yeah.
like the cinematic shit that you can do with that. Because
Yeah.
that's my style. You know me. I'm like
Yeah.
Matt who. Yeah. By the way,
I don't
that's
know.
not a shout at friend of the podcast, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. You
That was
sold
a shout
sometimes.
at Mercer. But
Mercer
yeah,
could be
I
friend
like
of the podcast if he wants to be.
oh
Yeah.
facts 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah, I'd
I
let
just-
him
Yeah,
hit me with
retweet
something.
that shit.
I'll wear a
I
vest with
use-
him. And I'll wear a vest with Sam Regal's face on it.
Are you gonna wear those dumb
Listen,
little
Matt?
bracelets too?
The
No,
I
little-
I
got
can't wear
these
the
bracelets. I got these
I-
bracelets at Burning Man. Like,
So I
alright.
can't wear the bracelets because apparently only watches are allowed to be on my wrists.
Yeah. Yeah.
I freak the fuck out. It's one
yeah.
of those like texture things. I know.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
weirdo.
See, we all, yeah. The 2008 butt rock trip. Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck is
Fucking-
butt rock?
It's like
Hold on.
Nickelback, Creed. You know that sort of
That's dad rock.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's dad rock now, but back then it was just butt rock. It's
Butt
still
rock
butt rock.
bands.
Yeah.
Puddle of Mud, Motley Crue, Seether, Nirvana, Hinder. I will not stand
Yeah.
For the
it's just butt
fucking-
rock.
What? Because Bon Jovi and Creed are also on this list. How dare Google?
Creed is 100% butt rock.
It-
But yeah,
listen,
so
Bon
that's
Creed
Jovi
fucking
is
slaps.
like
oh,
he's dads have more taste than butt rock, man.
yeah,
Bon Jovi's
yeah.
on the list of
Yeah,
like
yeah, because we out here
of
tasting
all
moms.
times.
Sorry, I'm on one. I had to behave because I was at dinner in a public setting for the first time in 9 months.
80s metal.
Yeah.
I am
Hair metal and 80s metal are different though. There's good 80s metal. There's not good hair metal.
80s rock is my jam. Is my jam.
I
If I
like-
need
I
some
like-
music on, I need something upbeat, I throw some 80s rock on.
I don't listen to 80s rock. I listen to like 80s like death metal and like grindcore and shit, but I don't listen to just straight up
Baby,
80s
grind
rock.
on me. Relax. Oh,
Not
wait, that's wrong.
exactly.
That's pretty Ricky. My bad. My bad.
And I'll listen to like 80s hip hop and like R&B and stuff, but 80s rock doesn't.
No comment. Nothing.
I
Oh, yeah,
mentioned
Naughty
it
by Nature,
earlier. I
yeah,
mentioned to
yeah.
Joe that I saw your show, that you saw your shirt.
All right, let's try and get back on topic because we have a really spicy topic today. So I just want to finish up the virtual tabletop talks.
Yeah, I don't.
So,
Jen, do you have any
um,
thoughts?
I have not used a virtual tabletop before. I'm not sure what I think, but I know a lot of people use them because some people don't have a really good theater of mind
Yeah,
sometime. And but like I do, and it's something that's so it's
Yeah.
easy for me to do to see of you tell me, you give me the description and kind of go with it. I can close my eyes and kind of see how things are going around. And I do that when not just in gaming, but I can do that like how I put craft room together back here. This was all
Yeah.
closing my eyes, look at it and see, okay, this goes here, this goes here, kind of thing, and just kind of piece it together. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm visualizing," and he can't do that. So like when he listens to his audiobooks, he's listening to it, but even though it's really descriptive, he can't see the same things that I see when I listen to the same audiobook.
Are you
yeah.
sure
Some
you're
people
not
think
neurospicy?
auditory. Yeah, like that
I
actually is a
have not-
thing. That is a thing. If you think both auditory and visually at the same time, you're probably neurospicy. He thinks auditory,
There's-
you probably just think visually.
With high school, the way that I passed through everything in high school was I didn't study, I didn't do the homework, but I would listen in class. So we do like a review, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm listening to it, and then pass the test.
You know that's a
Can't visualize stuff. That's aphantasia. Okay.
I
You
fucking
do
love
realize
Fantasia,
that
bro.
that's very ADHD, by the way. If you didn't do any homework or anything, but you just listened and passed the test, that's a very ADHD.
Yeah, that's there's some probabilities in there. It's been a while since I've done some testing, and last time I did some a neuro battery test, I that was one of the things that they were testing with, but not focusing on. So I think if anything like that came up, it has been 10 years, 10,
Yeah,
15
so yeah.
years. No, not
Uh,
15, but definitely 10.
Alexandria, to answer your question, it's because he came on our podcast and shill pimped his product to all of our
Yeah.
internet hoes. He paid Stalk You Like a Hawk. If you DM me, you can get my Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. I am not one to shy away from bribery.
Yeah, a leather craft guy. Not only does it exist, but you should back the newest Kickstarter. Yeah, grab a copy.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
greatest game ever made.
And
Lord
if you
Randy
buy a
demands
copy, send it to me along with $20 US. I will autograph it for you
it.
and then send it back so Brian can cry.
There's another one, a leather guy. There's another one happening right now. It's a Kickstarter for a couple adventures, but he actually has a tier where you could just buy the core rulebook. So yeah, that Brian just put in the chat.
There it is.
There's multiple options. Yeah, Brian will hook you up, whatever you need. Feel free to message him on Discord or wherever, and he'll hook you up with whatever you need. But yeah, so
And he's been a guest on our show before. So for our first time watchers, Brian of Neon Lords has been a guest on our show. So we got to pepper him with all kinds of questions and get some insight on some stuff, and then got links to the different the Kickstarter and the Etsy shop, which I adore their Etsy shop.
Bro, we got chat popping off tonight.
Yeah.
This is fucking awesome.
I was telling my husband today, I was like, man, do you know how long I've been doing this podcast?
Yeah,
And
we've been
he's
doing
like,
it forever.
I was like, it's been a few months. I'm pretty proud of
Yeah.
it. And Saturday at my scrapbook event, I said something about, I was like, yeah, my kid called in after my podcast and they said, you got a podcast? And I was like, yeah. So I've got a podcast on it every Monday night, 8 p.m. So
Jen
it's
doing
not
our intro
safe for
tonight.
work, though.
Did she kill it?
Yeah, she
I
killed
think I
it.
did
Did
all
you kill
right.
it? Did you kill it, Jen? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so there's a there's a Jen level for podcast intro, and then there's like a Noah level of podcast intro. You bring a totally different, I want to say psycho energy to it.
I
but
bring
you
that hard energy. Yeah, no, I bring that hard energy for real. Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
Bruce Buffer's one of my heroes. All right. I fucking love that dude. I keep telling my wife all I want for my birthday is a cameo of Bruce Buffer recording my company.
I
voicemail.
did not hear. That's not where I thought that was going. I thought that you said you were going to want him in a bow. Can I have
want
that
my
under the
wife
tree?
in a bow. But I don't know. She's
so
a
the
redhead
virtual
now. That might be
tabletops-
dangerous.
Yeah, she's no longer blonde.
think
She's
she
red
gives off-
now.
I think she gives off some redhead vibes, anyways.
But we decided that we're still calling her Blondie because I've worked for over a decade for this, and I will not have it taken away from me.
So you guys talked about Tailspire, Roll20. Roll20, I'm slightly familiar with, and
There's
Fantasy Grounds.
And there's also Foundry, but
yep.
I use Owlbear Rodeo. Owlbear Rodeo I think is the best because it's just stupidly easy to use. It's almost too simple. It's like, yeah, it's just so easy to use. So that's what I would recommend if I was going to use it. But I mean, I do everything at the table. I have a lot.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
See, Jonah, that's why I need to get my hands on this fucking tabletop.
Oh yeah, playroll.com. Yeah, that's
Okay.
I think that I think Exalted Funeral has a bunch of their stuff on there too. They seem to be pushing a lot of stuff onto Playroll.
Exalted Funeral?
Yeah, Exalted Funeral is like one of the greatest RPG distributors you can find. Like it's like any sort of like Yeah. That's for the Lords is on playroll.com, and it's I think
Okay.
the Lords also sold an Exalted Funeral, but they are not only like a publisher, but they also do music too. So they have like doom metal albums and stuff like that, and they have
Sweet.
um what was it RPGs like, but they're like one of the big RPG companies out there. Like they sell all different types of zines and all that. So just check it out, especially if you like
Making
OSR.
notes.
Alright.
These are my notes
Oh
from
yeah,
last
yeah.
Monday, and then here's today's notes. I didn't quite get through the list of 50 presidents. I got
It's all good.
squirreled
Okay.
and distracted and just said, fuck it.
I I'm gonna say
Oh
I
yeah,
have a
Monty,
strict
Monty Python games.
8:15 bedtime tonight.
All right. So
So
Monty Python
why
I
don't
game.
guess
Oh,
we
that
c-
why
sounds
don't we
yeah.
fun.
jump into our main topic here?
So main
The
topic
alignments.
is alignments and do we need them or not? I say we don't need them, but I say they're helpful for new players, but I don't think that they're helpful long term. I think that they hinder players long term. Because I honestly I forget what my players' alignments are after like 3 sessions. You know what I mean? Because if their characters are interesting enough, I could give a shit about them. Kind of my take.
Well, characters can also evolve or
Yeah,
devolve.
yeah, yeah.
You know, Pally hangs out with the bard long enough,
Yeah,
they're
you
gonna
know, like
want to be in
they
the
get a little
bard gang.
chaos in them.
Here's the thing. I
Yeah,
like
I
alignment.
agree with you.
I
Why?
I do kind of like them. Because in
Smart move,
character
Leathercraft
creation,
guy.
what?
Oh, Leathercraft guy
Sorry.
just backed
He
the
said he
Lords.
backed both modules and
Oh,
while
bet.
rulebook.
Let's go. No, I think it's
Oh.
so like trying to put this in somewhat of an intelligent sentence. So I know. I know. So it's like I like a chaotic neutral type of thing just because I like to have some variance, right?
Yeah,
But it's not that I ever go to one extreme or the other, right? I just like to have a very wide space to play in. It's just who I am, right? But also, I got mad respect and props for those crazy fucks that like to play, lawful good paladins, right? Or even crazier, like a lawful
yeah.
good fighter or some shit. You know what I mean?
I
Because
mean,
it's like,
I'm playing a
okay,
lawful good monk right now.
right.
I don't like the
So it's like,
restriction of it. I just don't think it's fun as a restriction, but other people do, I guess.
yeah, and like to the people that do and are able to pull it off, like
Yeah,
that's awesome, and I commend them for it because I fucking can't. I'm not a in the box type of guy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Like the
like,
law chaos neutral for BX does make a lot of sense. Makes more sense than
like, and of course, Kristen's not here, so I'm gonna be just talking completely out of my fucking ass without any factual information to back it up. But like with Seventh Sea, right? You're kind of in Seventh Sea, you're kind of forced to play
heroes.
like a neutral good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because if you do bad shit, then you're gonna get villain points, and once you
yeah.
have enough villain points, then you die and your character turns into an NPC and you gotta roll a new one. So it kind of,
Which
which
I don't
I
enjoy
kind of
that.
like because it keeps your party from being fucking murder hobos and actually having to do
Yeah,
something other than cut a motherfucker. Not that I'm
yeah.
against cutting a motherfucker by
Nothing,
any
yeah,
means,
no.
but
There's
right,
time and a place
right, time and a
is
place, time and a place.
necessity.
But like, so it's one of those. Like I can see why people don't like it.
Yeah.
I can see why people do like it. And I kind of lean more to the, it's already there. So with the alignment chart, like I said, you have chaotic neutral. So you've already got a fucking built in, I don't want to play in this box mode that you can play in.
I mean,
Right. Or
kinda,
just be a
kinda.
fucking neutral player and you're fine. But for the people that do like to play within a box because it makes their character interesting, which I,
Yeah,
like I said, that's not me.
yeah. But I
like
think
it
there's other
and I
ways.
fuck
Yeah,
with it.
Scum Dogs for like. I think there's other ways to do it better. I was since I've been working on Savage Worlds campaign. The way they do it is edges and hindrances. So hindrances are the bad parts, not the bad parts, are the things that make your character interesting. So if you want to be a good guy, that's you would take like a vow or something like that. That you would like you would do it that way, where it's a little bit more personalized. Because alignment's just like they aren't personalized to the character, and they're kind of like almost either you have to be very very abstract, like extremely abstract, or uh very specific. I think so. You could go like lawful, neutral, and chaos, like they do in Basic Expert, which is three alignments because you can be lawful good or lawful evil, but it's mostly just based around you being lawful. But I mean, it's just I don't know. I prefer either going like the Savage World / GURPS route where it's very specific, and then also it automatically builds in a backstory to your character. It's instead of just a bland alignment, if that makes any sense. Yeah,
Well, I
attitude
mean,
versus sleaze. Yeah,
and like I said, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. As with
yeah,
everything in life, there's pros and cons. I, whether or not you think one outweighs the other is like it's just a personal choice. Now, if they gave me something that was because like as Jono says, I don't think there should be a moral compass guiding your actions. I feel like it breaks player agency. I kind of tend to lean in the direction of whether you like it or not, all of us have our own moral compass that we
yeah,
play by. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And yes, if you're one of those people that says, "Oh, I don't even have morals," well, you still got a fucking moral compass. You know what the fuck I'm saying, right? You've all got your own
yeah,
fucking beliefs that fucking you walk through life with, right? So
yeah, yeah.
to say that if we're, playing a role that those characters wouldn't have a moral compass of their own is kind of a stretch, at least in my mind. So
I mean, I
it's
get
like,
where
well,
he's coming from, though.
I do too. Like, it's I'm not throwing shade at all. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah, I get
like
exactly
if
where he's coming.
it's just one of those
When you say
like,
you don't have morals, you actually have bad morals.
Yeah,
well, not well,
That's what
morality's
that means,
relative.
chat.
Yeah, morality's all relative, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
But like
and
that's part
I'm
of the
not trying
issue
to
is
get into
that
that
yeah.
discussion whatsoever, but like,
That's part of the issue
it's
is
just
that your morality shifts over time too, and if you're stuck in an
right.
alignment, it kind of sucks. I mean, like as a person who's currently playing a lawful good character, and in a party where everyone has to be at least neutral or good as a part of the campaign, honestly, it just like it makes things less interesting. It makes everything less interesting because it's just like, well, it's like bowling with bumpers. It's just not as fun. You know what I mean? It's like
Like you
I
get
don't,
there,
I
but
yeah.
there's not as much challenge or
Yeah, yeah. It's not as much
diversity.
challenge. You have less options, and you have less of an ability to make an interesting character. Because interesting characters are like
Evolve
people.
over
They're
time.
not. Yeah, they
Yeah,
evolve over time, and they're not all good or all bad. Like let's just be real. Like if they're all good, they're pretty boring. If they're all
yeah.
bad, they're also pretty
They're
boring.
hiding
And
something.
so yeah, and all characters think that they're
And the
good.
bad ones are misunderstood on some level. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
and so
how it is.
and that's why I just kind of like don't like the whole dynamic of it is because like it automatically puts all the players into a box. Now they're thinking about, oh, I am neutral good. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. Instead of just being like, okay, I know my character's personality, and I'm thinking about how my character is just reacting to this moment, irregardless of any mechanical aspect of the game. It's more about like, okay, how will this character that I came up with a backstory for and everything, how do they interact with their environment in this moment? Like, I don't really care about the mechanical side of things. That's why I always forget about people's alignments because I don't. It's not important if they are playing their character because they're going to do what's in their character's interest. Like it's like yeah, like if you play a cleric and you keep doing bad shit, you're going to get like kicked out of the guild, like Alexandria said. But that's going to happen regardless. You know what I mean? Like eventually, if your god has a certain ideals and you keep going against them, you can you'll eventually piss them off. So I don't know.
So let me ask you a question. Okay, so have you seen the uh fuck what's I forget the name of
Probably
it.
not. I
I'm
live
going
in a
to call
cave,
it
so
I'm going to call it the Foursquare authoritarian politics chart.
yeah,
Where it's
yeah,
blue, red, green, yellow, and it's like,
yeah, yeah,
the liberal, conservative, libertarian left,
yeah.
libertarian right, right? Would you think it would be better to, instead of having a 9 square fucking alignment chart, to maybe do it like 4, and you have good,
Well,
evil,
that's 3. It's
lawful,
just
chaotic,
well that they already have
or
that in
excuse me,
BX.
good, evil, neutral, chaotic? Because
Well, they already
I'm
have
one of
that in
those people
BX.
who would tell you that chaotic is an alignment in and of itself.
Well, that's what's in BX. You have lawful, neutral, and chaos in basic
Okay.
expert. So lawful just means you follow the laws. You can be lawful evil or lawful good to a degree because once again it's gray area. Like people is just
Right.
are you more inclined to follow the law and use the law to your benefit or not? Neutral is neutral, and then chaos is just like you're more chaotic, which is that is the alignment is that you really don't give a shit about the law, but you can still be a good person. Cause like that's kind of how I am. I'm pretty like
Well, sometimes
it's
good
like I
guys got to
don't give a
break the
shit about
law.
the law. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's how I
sometimes
mean
good
Robin
guys got to
Hood
break some
effect.
fucking laws.
It's a
Right.
Robin Hood thing or anything else. So it's like from my perspective, it's just like that's about as
Excuse
far
me.
as I want to go. You know what I mean? And even that I kind of forget
Well,
because like if it's a sorry, go ahead,
it's all
Jen.
shades of gray. Looked at that nine chart. That it's just 9 shades of gray.
Yeah,
It's all gray.
yeah, yeah. But I
I
think
think if you put that into a game, that the only way that you could actually utilize it for a challenge, I guess, would be to, you know, uh, pick your character first, and then have the GM assign each person. Okay, well, you get lawful good, you get chaotic neutral, and no matter what your character is, you play your character just to that little square and see what you can do with it. And
I
it
would hate
would,
that.
I mean,
I would hate that so much. I would hate that so much.
but on the
Yeah, because Kristen
upside,
make me
it
play
would.
lawful good every fucking time
Yeah, yeah.
because she hates me.
Oh, I think
Bet your little
did
chaos goblin
there.
self would try to get around it. I'm
So
still
like,
here, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you just got you kind of
for a minute and we're
I
froze.
lost you
Like,
for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
this is great. That's gonna be the that's the thumbnail
Did you
for this
clip it
week.
then?
Yeah, but
Yeah, clip
I
it.
will.
Don't forget
I
to do the
will.
clips. You didn't do
I
clips
think.
last
I
week.
think we'll. Yeah. I'll try to remember to
even
do clips.
like I like to see shit where like, because I've even talked with my friend Chris about this. I have thought about, and of course nobody at my table is currently watching this, so I'm gonna fucking say it, unfortunately, and hope it doesn't bite me in the ass later. I've considered killing his character off like 100%, and
Well, he
then
doesn't watch the podcast. How would he know?
having him roll a new character that is a bad guy. Like basically,
Yeah.
he is the player version of the big bad, right? But in his mind, he is a lawful good. So he's following
Yeah.
his own moral compass
Yeah.
of what lawful good would be, but doing
Yeah.
bad fucking shit. And that's the kind of thing where I'm like, okay, I really fucking like this dynamic
Yeah.
because according to
But
him,
that's how it works. Bad
this
guys
is,
think that they're good guys. Stalin
yeah,
thought that he was doing the
exactly.
right thing because he thought that he was killing the kulaks, but it's like, well, no, you just killed a bunch of people that you could have converted to your cause.
Right.
It's like
But
it's
like,
that sort of mindset.
so I like the alignment chart for, like it's base. This is what your character would do according to this alignment. Now, your interpretation of those actions, I
Yeah.
think, is a very interesting character point.
Yeah, but I
And
think
if you can somehow find a way to either manipulate that within reason, or you and your GM and the fucking table are like, hey, I really think that with the way that your character's going, maybe you're kind of here instead of here,
yeah.
and everybody's cool with that, like that's fine. So like, I mean, like I said, it's not that I hate it, it's not that I love it, but
I mean, I
I mean,
think you're
at
kind
the end of
of
the day, I want to see, like I said earlier, everybody's got their own moral compass, and if we're
yeah.
playing fucking characters, then they're gonna have a fucking set of, even if we don't say morals, we're gonna
Yeah,
say they're gonna
set
have a
a
set
set
of
of
values and
values.
beliefs.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so
But that's more
where
important than just the word chaotic neutral or something. You know what I mean?
right,
That's
right.
that. Yeah. I mean, okay. So
But
let me
like,
just like.
go ahead.
So for me, it's just that I don't think about it because you're kind of coming at it from an experienced GM's perspective who is not as rigid. But I think about it from the basic dungeon master who doesn't have a lot of experience outside of their own home game. You know what I mean? Who probably isn't that great, but is the person in their small town that does it. You know what I mean? They will look at it very rigidly.
Excuse me.
Just broke
I
the
was like
mic.
I'm
two.
so sorry.
Scale of 1 to 10, that's a 2, maybe a 3.
Oh, I know it was, but that was like a surprise. I'm so sorry. Anyway,
It's all good. So yeah, yeah, sorry, but ADHD. Okay, so it's just
small
like
town GM.
for people, for those people, they tend to be much more rigid when it comes to the rules. Most DMs are quite rigid when it comes to rules, and when they see lawful good, they automatically just think the whole lawful stupid thing. They think that it's like if you break this, this is what happens, and I've experienced it quite a bit. I stopped playing fifth edition at cons because they have a very rigid sense of the rules and they can't think outside of these boxes because there's already so much stuff that they have to keep track of, if that makes sense. Like they like having that rigidity, and yeah, I don't know.
Listen, I just want to give a message to the GMs that Joe's talking about. Okay. Just because you read this
Yeah,
doesn't mean that you get to fucking
more
skip
gooder
this.
games. Yeah,
Okay. Because even if we're just taking this at a fucking D&D 5th edition level, okay?
yeah,
You read this, that doesn't make you a DM. Okay.
yeah.
What makes you a fucking DM is the success of your fucking table. So if you don't read fucking this and you can't get a sense of what your players are fucking doing because of the characters they created using this, you are wrong. Yes, I said it because I know I normally go, well, you DM your own style, but you're fucking wrong. Okay. Quit cock blocking your fucking players just
Well,
because
I mean,
I'm
no,
getting rule book.
there are players who like to play that. They're generally like 8-year-olds who like that structure. You know what I mean? But like, there are people who like to play like that. I think you should play whatever way you want to. But yeah, like 5e1 with straight back to OSR. Yeah, I prefer OSRs because it's a lot more flexible. But the thing is, it's just that I think about like if I was a DM and I had a new player coming in, yes, it makes sense to give them an alignment chart because they have no idea what to go with. Because it's like, because there is that sort of like, well, because one of the worst things about RPGs is like new players ask, "So what can I do?" And we say whatever you want to do because you can. It's literally an imagination game. You can do whatever
Right.
the fuck you want to do, or at least attempt to, like Noah does all the time, and almost gets us killed in half our session. Um, it's
Like,
just
you can try and let's see what the
yeah,
dice says.
yeah,
But
When you think
I
it,
have crafted a character that
yeah,
does
does
that.
that. Yeah,
That's his thing.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
breaking rules.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
I'm not even at a fucking baseline. I'm not manipulating the game in any way. I'm just like, look,
and this
this
is on
guy's
2 different tables that we're discussing
Yeah.
as well. With Noah
no,
plays
this is
2
one different character.
tables.
It's my 7C character is very different. I am constantly looking for workarounds for that because I don't necessarily like the way that system plays. So I'm trying to fucking break it to my will.
Yeah.
But with
Yeah.
Fallout,
That's how
You
I
don't
am
like the
with fifth
Fallout
edition.
system either.
Well, we
I
play a
no,
very abstracted Fallout game. We
I
play a very abstracted Fallout game.
Yeah, we
let me
definitely
let me say
not
this because
homebrew,
I
but
don't want Kristen to fucking like text me and be like, what the fuck, bro? I adore my GM in 7C. I adore my play group with 7C. I love all their characters. I love my character. I love the story that we are going through. Everything that is not in the fucking rules PDF that just fucking handcuffs me, I love and adore. Okay. But in Fallout, I have some
Wiggle
room to
room.
breathe. I
Yeah.
can make a fucking character that's, more interesting than I'm rolling to seduce the dragon. Okay?
Yeah. Flip
Notice
that. Yeah.
Lando
you gotta roll this to do
has
the
not
Dishclaw.
tried to fuck anything. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason because I have better, cooler fucking shit to do, right? He's an idiot.
Yeah. They have no skills.
He's an but he's an
Mini
idiot.
nuke, a
He's an
wall.
idiot savant. At
Yeah.
heart.
He's like almost
Like-
lawful idiot in a way because he's like whatever being an idiot is, he
Kinda.
follows that to a T. Like whatever the
Yeah.
dumbest thing he could do is, he does it. Like being drunk with a fat man inside of a building and just be like and fucking
Right.
flashing people with the fat man.
But
Like
it's
Terrified
but
of
at the same
flying,
time,
but is a great pilot.
yeah.
but at the same time, remember Lando believes he's a good guy, right? So
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
threatening his
yeah.
friends and all he has is a mini nuke and he's a little wasted, motherfucker, roll the dice. Let's play. You gonna fuck around? You gonna find out, right?
But that's kind of
not
my
like-
thing is that everyone thinks that they're good, whether chaotic good or lawful good. But even like chaotic good
Right.
players think that they're lawful good. They just think that the laws should be different. They just operate under a different set of laws. It's like
Yeah, they're
sovereign
sovereign
citizens. Sovereign citizens. Oh, see, there we go.
Let's
But they think that they operate under a different set of laws. They still operate under laws though. You know what I mean? Like they just operate under a different set of laws that
Right.
they agree upon, and that's the issue is that everyone thinks they're a good guy. Yeah, the best bad guys think they're a good guy, and that's a very true thing. Like the best bad guys always think that they're good guys because that's the whole point is that
Thanos
their
knew
set
he was
of-
being a bad guy, though. He knew he had to be a
Right,
bad
kind
guy to
of.
be his own good guy.
but was he a
Right.
bad guy? Like that's
Thanos was willing to make the sacrifice for the betterment of many rather than
Yeah.
the survival of one, which made
Yeah.
him think I'm doing the right thing.
That's the issue. That's what makes characters interesting. Is that
Right.
every character, in my opinion, most characters think that they're doing the right thing. There are characters that think that they're the bad guy. You see that sometimes with people who they do fucked up shit their entire life, and they'll say that I'm a bad person. And some people do that, and that you could go that route. But I mean, most characters think that they're the good guy. Yeah,
Well, it's like,
they'll
and
think
like
that-
that's
yeah,
where I
exactly. Yeah.
would, facts. That's where I would kind of like make the distinction between my two characters that y'all are familiar with, right? Is
Yeah.
because Lando really thinks he's a good guy and he really wants to be a good guy, right?
Yeah.
Saturday's a fucking bad guy and he knows he's a bad guy, but
Yeah.
he's trying to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, he is a
And-
pirate.
And so it's this very they're as much as they sound kind of very similar, they are very different and they are extremely different in their fucking approach, right?
Yeah.
Like Lando's willing to fucking roll the dice and go with the group and, fucking he's willing to put his experience on the back burner for the sake of that sounds like it'll work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where
And
Saturday
then head
is
first into a wall.
Saturday's actively trying to guide everything and get his way.
right, because Saturday kind of, which the rest of the character, the players know this, but the characters at the
Yeah.
table don't know that, Saturday's got some fucking issues with himself, right?
Yeah,
So he don't
yeah.
fuck this, he's like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna just straight up murder a motherfucker, but if I can find a a shiesty way of doing this, then it's gonna fucking happen, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, he kidnapped a Fey princess and took her as his bride for fucking,
Yeah.
for a little bit of an advantage that, he seems to think is going to come around later. But, so it's two different approaches of the
Same concept of like
same
Saturday's
concept, but
trying to
two,
be a good guy. He still has laws that he's trying to follow in his head.
right,
It's just different. Yeah.
right. Whereas Lando, I mean, I don't think Lando's a bad guy, right?
I mean, in
You
a
know,
way, yes. Like he's killed a lot of people, but like, I mean, like it's sort of like a weird like. Uh, he's
It's the
not really a
wasteland.
bad guy. He's
Everybody's
just
killed a lot of
yeah.
people.
He's a
right.
survivor, and he has done more good than bad. But he did shoot a lady, but he was shooting at defending Eddie. So I mean, there was that.
Right.
Yeah, like he
But
like he thinks he's doing the right thing at all times. Like whether he's doing a good thing or a bad thing is separate from the fact that in his mind, in his perspective, he is
yeah,
always doing the right thing. Like chopping
He
the
did
heads off of
rescue two
Brotherhood
mole
Paladins.
rats.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Then
He
he had
did
to feed one to
rescue
the other,
two mole
but
rats. Yeah.
yeah. But like that, and that's the thing. Like where I kind of think like where you were saying, GMs are like, fucking strict and rigid. Like, listen,
yeah.
bro, fucking
Don't be rigid. Don't be rigid. You got to be like the wavy guy in front of the car wash. You know what I mean? You got to go with the punches.
see, I'm the type of person that would tell you chaotic neutral is broken into two
Yeah,
half squares put together. It's either chaotic stupid,
yeah,
Lando, or chaotic neutral, Saturday. Right? They're very similar with just slight tweaks and differences. And if you as a GM can't fucking get it through your head that not everybody's going to do the same thing exactly, and
yeah.
as long as it's, it might not, if it's spelled correctly but they didn't capitalize the right fucking letter, don't be a dick. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the
But
best
like
way I can put it. So like,
there's
yeah,
no
like,
I guess there's no guidance on it anymore. Like, fifth edition doesn't really have the guidance for that. Instead, it has the exact opposite, where it just gives you it gives you the alignments and exactly what they are supposed to be interpreted as. And so I guess that's really where I have the issue is that like there's a strict interpretation that is pushed. I guess is the best way to put it versus having a much more malleable interpretation of it because it is more of a spectrum than a stricter set of rules.
and once again, I'm going to go
Yeah, I
back.
know they said it's your game and do whatever, but like most DMs don't actually follow rule zero. You know what I mean? Let's be real. Most DMs don't even think about that when they're writing the game because they need the rules to have some sort of boundaries. But then they just use all the rules, and then it ends up becoming this very rigid game.
Right. But like, I just fuck now I can't find it, and I used to know exactly where it was. But wherever it is that says, "Hey," to paraphrase and to kind of quote Captain Barbosa, the rules are more like guidelines.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
the rules are
yeah,
more like
yeah,
fucking guidelines. It's set, and coming strictly from fucking D&D, right? It says
yeah,
it right here in the fucking book.
yeah. But I
You know,
mean,
it,
no one
it's
follows
right
that
there.
though. No one
It's right
follows Rule
there.
Zero.
And like I said, if you're not going to be a fucking GM who reads the material that your players have to work with and accept
Yeah,
that they took
yeah,
everything that was in this book and they made a character,
yeah,
then you are a dick and you don't need to be running games because
yeah.
nobody's going to have fun at that table.
But that doesn't work though. I mean that is not real at all. Like there's a lot of dickish DMs and there's a lot of shitty tables out there. I don't go to cons very often, but when I did, dear God, those fifth edition tables were terrible in comparison to like you could go to a GURPS table and it was probably at least 10% better. An OSR table would be 10% better. You know what I mean? But like the fifth edition DMs, they have a much more rigid way of going about it, or they
Well, it's like,
don't know the rules at all, and they're
and
just rolling dice for the sake of dice.
but that's what I'm speaking to. It's not the
Yeah,
guys that know the rules and are assholes to be assholes, which
yeah,
Matt, I love you. That's kind of like that's more like Matt's GM style. He knows all the
Yeah.
fucking rules, doesn't need a
Yeah.
book to run a game. He can just fucking
Yeah.
pull it out of his brain because
Yeah.
he is incredible at storing information, right? And he'll tell you,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't work. Now,
Yeah.
Matt's also the kind of guy that if you have the material and go, well, this says this, which also says this, and this says this, which means I can do this. And he goes,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You can absolutely do that, right? But he's going to make you work
Yeah.
for it. There's a
Yeah,
difference between
yeah.
doing that and then going, no,
No.
can't do
Yeah.
that because I didn't read the rules because I'm
Yeah.
fucking dumb.
No, and like, but like I've played with a DM that said no. Like we asked like, can we make a shield wall? And he was like, no, there's no rules for it. We asked, can we charge the enemy? Like just charge through, not attack him, but just like wedge through. He was like, no, there's no rules for it. It's like, well, but our characters can do it. Like we're melee characters, we can do those things. We don't necessarily even need a bonus to it, even though you can adjudicate a bonus really easily for that. But it's like, it's just sort of like that rigidity just kind of just like it takes away a lot from the game, and D&D doesn't really do a good job of like getting rid of that rigidity compared to other games. Like, cause like even with Neon Lord, there's an assumption that like you're not gonna play it to a T in the game. Like it's supposed to be fun no matter what. Like the Neon Lords has this like sort of vibe of it's fun and fast and dangerous. You know what I mean? And like Fifth Edition doesn't have that vibe. Neither does Pathfinder. Pathfinder is sort of in the same boat for me.
At Leathercraft Guy,
See-
that's how we run our our,
Yeah. I mean, I
all
make
out
up
table.
adjudications all the time. Yeah, I make adjudications
See,
all the
like-
time. Yeah, really cool. I make adjudications all
what
the time. I
Alexandria
write them
is saying
down so
right
I
here.
stay consistent.
What Alexandria is right here. Need to teach
Yeah.
GMs, number one, how to say no, and B, how to live
Yeah.
by rule 0, right? Those go
Yeah,
fucking
they're really cool.
hand in hand. But like I'm saying, you need to have the approach of, okay, sometimes I'm going to have to say no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. But
Yeah.
like my table, you're never going to hear me say no just to say no.
No,
It's
yeah,
not
no,
going to
no.
happen.
Yeah, no.
I might go, how
Yeah.
or why? Right?
Yeah.
I might ask some questions. I'm going to get
To
some
try
more
to get
information out
just
of
to
you.
try to
Right.
be able to adjudicate.
I'm never
yeah,
just going to go no. Because
Yeah.
if you just flat out say no,
Yeah,
you
they
are
don't
in
understand.
direct fucking
Yeah.
violation of rule number 1. Have fucking
Yeah.
fun. Fucking
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I mean, like Brian says,
God.
though, the rule of cool, it should be whatever is the most badass thing at the moment, but within the confines of the character, because they chose a class that has certain confines. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the cleric can't go
Right,
around
like, I'm
torturing
not-
people unless he's a cleric to a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, there
Right,
are
and
basic
I'm not gonna
confines
let
that
my
make it interesting.
fucking I'm not gonna let my level 2 human fighter with a fucking longbow cast
Yeah.
fireball. That can't
Yeah.
work because
Yeah.
you there's no way a level 2, and I'm not talking about multi-class, I'm just talking about
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
roll
unless they
dice,
find
made
a
character
scroll.
sheet,
Unless they find a scroll or a magic item, which don't give them a
Right.
fucking fireball magic item at level 2.
Which you're not
as
going
a
to.
DM, don't
You're-
fucking do that.
yeah,
No, I
you're
have
not gonna
had
do that.
DMs that do that. I have had DMs that do that. Like, trust me,
But I'm saying,
DMs
like,
are. Oof.
if you are a level 2
Do
human
it.
fighter and you
What?
have a fucking longbow, right? And you're like,
yeah,
oh, I've been tailing the wizard for 6 weeks and he taught
Yeah.
me how to cast fireball. I'm gonna be like,
no.
number one, how did he teach you to cast fireball? You guys been fucking murder hoboing. You haven't
Yeah.
taken a long rest in 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
hear it. No,
yeah,
absolutely not. Right?
yeah. Well, they can't do it retroactively, so they can't be like, "Well, I spent the last 2 weeks doing this." It's like, no, like you had to
Right.
narrate that beforehand, first of all, and
And
like,
even if somehow they still gave me this fucking incredible story,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say no, but I would say it like
Yeah.
this. I'll tell you what, if you want to cast fucking fireball, then I'm going to need you to take the next 6 levels in wizard.
Yeah, 'cause that's what it takes. Yeah. You're
And
just
there you
you're
go.
multi-class.
Problem is
you're multi-class.
solved.
Yeah,
You have not technically said no to be a dick,
Yeah.
but you've made it work within the fucking system, just like everything
But
else.
like for something like that, it's just sort of like, look, like you can't fix a car before you can fix a bicycle. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Right.
you're going to learn how to cast cantrips before you learn how to cast fireball. You're not going to go into a music class and learn how to play Beethoven day one. You know what I mean? You're going to be playing, Three Blind
Hot
Mice.
cross buns or shit like
Yeah,
that.
hot cross buns. Yeah, and so it's like, yeah, you could get what you want, but this is how long it takes. Like I had one character, like even for a much simpler example, he was like, "Can I do a triple backflip and then do 2 attacks in an old Savage Worlds game?" And I was just like, theoretically, yes, but by the time you get to your 2 attacks, you're at -6 because you did 2 backflips, and for every action you get, it's a -2. And theoretically, now you only have 3 actions. So if you do a triple backflip, that's all you can do because there's a certain amount of time in which a turn takes place that we all agree
Right.
upon. So it's like, well, if you're doing a triple backflip, that's all you can do. You can't like attack and do a triple backflip and then land on. You want to land on somebody's shoulders and stuff like that. It's like theoretically, yes, you could do that. You just can't do it all this turn because just there's a time.
Now,
Time exists. You know what I mean? That's
right. Now,
like you have to say
to
no
which
to
I would
that,
say, if
but
you
you can
roll a
attempt
nat
it.
20 at my table and you're like, I'm gonna fucking run up the side of the wall, backflip off, and fucking stab him in the back of
Yeah,
the head,
as long
and
as
I'm
it's
like,
within 5 to 6 seconds, sure.
I'm gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, you got an 8 in dexterity because that's your fucking dump
Yeah,
stat, but you did crit and roll a fucking
yeah,
20, so I'm gonna fucking let you have it. Now, if you're
yeah,
like, oh, I hit my enemy's fucking AC is a 14 and I rolled a 15 and then I rolled
yeah.
6
But
damage and
that
you're
that
like,
was
I want to
what
do
it
a
was
double
like. Yeah,
backflip. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
how
no,
everything
no.
he wanted to
But
do, like all that weird shit for every single attack, and it's like, I told him like, yeah, you could do that, but you're gonna start taking negatives for every fucking backflip and flourish you do because you're that in Savage Worlds every action is -2. So it's like, yeah, if you want to
now,
do a
just
backflip
out
in a
of
Sap Spider, you're
curiosity,
just -2 to hit them. Like you're just taking a
just
negative.
out of curiosity, did he take those -2s or is he like, nah, I'm good?
No, no, he did not take them. Like, no,
Okay, see, because me,
no, yeah.
and I think we can
Oh,
all
I would
agree,
too. I would too. Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
like, all right,
yeah,
bet, yeah, no, I'll do that. I'll do
yeah.
that,
I
100%.
mean, Brian
I
can
don't think
vouch for
Brian
me.
at least
I
once.
will do dumb shit at the table. Like Brian can vouch for me.
Right,
Like I would do whatever. I follow the rule of cool to a T. Like whatever is the most rad thing to do at that time is what I'm doing.
what, baby?
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
What? If you will give me 6 minutes, I will come make all of you margaritas. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
With Brian talking about a total party kill
yeah,
in chat. Have you guys ever had a total party wipe on your tables?
yeah. OSR games. It just happens. And
How do
also
you deal
like
with it?
well, it depends on the game. So for me,
Yeah,
it's
so
just the
go
easier the
ahead.
game is, to make a character, the more likely you are to die in my games. So Neon Lords, it's like Neon Lords, it's like I don't care about your character. They're going to like be like whatever happens, they're probably going to die. Like you're really high
So have a
chance of being a
list.
TPK. Yeah, just have multiple characters ready to go, and that's fine. Everyone has that assumption. In fifth edition, it's a little bit different because it takes a long time to make characters, and people expect them to live through the entire campaign because the game is designed for them to live through the entire campaign, which I kind of hate because it doesn't feel challenging. But in Pathfinder, even more so. Pathfinder First Edition is like, what the fuck? Like plus 15 to hit? Why? Why? Like, what's the point at this point? It's like I could go and play a superhero video game. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there's no point. So it's just, but it depends on the expectation. So most of the time, I'm getting TPKs and OSR games where it's easy to make a new character. But if I were to TPK in Savage Worlds, I guess my perspective of it would just be, it sucks, but like you guys chose to get into this fight. They always have a chance to run. If they don't, if they have a chance, they have a way out if they want it. So that's, and I always make sure that they can have a way out. Other than that, it's just if you want to do it,
So
do it.
I ran a game that I was expecting to take almost a year when I started planning it. It took a month. We ran 2 sessions, and they know how I run my games, right?
Yeah.
And I am the kind of guy that will say, okay, when I approach combat, right? I like to, and I may or may not get crucified for this, but it's fine, whatever. You know, I'll take the heat. When I have my players approach a combat situation, just because I have it planned out in my notes one way, does not mean that it's going to go down that way.
No, no.
Did let's see. Okay, so you walked into a room in a building on the first floor and you startled, let's just say, 6 fucking we're just gonna call them guards, right?
Yeah.
You startled 6 guards. Now I have this combat planned out to be a 6-on-4 combat situation with moderately comparable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of challenge, but like you guys should fucking survive this, you know. Now, you come to me and, let's say we're playing 5e and you've got, like I told you, my 2 dragonborns, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we're going to both, cuz we're together in the initiative order, we're going to fucking cast our breath weapons to create a mini nuke right here." Okay,
Okay.
motherfucker. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
do that. 100%. Yeah. Oh, really? Awesome. Cool. So that was easy. And I'm like, yeah, except that you have now alerted every other fucking NPC in this building
Yeah.
to your exact
Yeah.
location. And now instead of 6-on-4, it's fucking 60.
Yeah. And then that's just called the consequences of your actions. That's called the
That's a
consequences
fuck
of your
around and
actions.
find out.
Yeah, I mean, like,
So
also,
you
I would
wanna-
make the building on fire. Now you have to try to escape the
Right.
building and escape all these people chasing you, and that's just called the consequences of your actions. That's
Right. Now,
that's what it is.
At this particular game, I had a similar situation breakout, right? Where they were like, we want to do some fuckery. And I was like, before you commit to fuckery, are you
Yeah.
committed to fuckery
Yeah,
or
yeah,
do you just
yeah.
want to do some dumb shit? No, we want all the smoke. We ain't scared.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
your last option. And
Yeah.
I had one of the guys who had played at my table before going, don't tempt him. Don't do it. And I was like, okay, fine, do your thing. And they proceeded to go to combat, and it was a situation they were very well aware of that they needed to
Yeah,
use
yeah.
stealth.
Yeah.
They needed to
They did,
send
yeah.
their rogue to
Yeah.
be in there stabbing motherfuckers, getting that sneak attack damage,
Yeah.
so that he's
yeah.
basically one-shotting while
This
they
is Splinter
came up
Cell.
from
This is
behind.
Splinter Cell. Yeah.
Right?
Like, this is,
This is Splinter Cell,
this
not
ain't,
Gears of
this
War,
ain't no
baby.
King Kong. Yeah. Like.
Okay, yeah. And so they're like, oh, well, there's only 4 of them in there, so we'll just
That's what you
fucking.
think.
I'm like, once
There's
again,
4.
are you sure? I'm trying to talk you out of this
Yeah.
because
Yeah. I mean,
if you say we want to do the fuckery, I'm like, okay. And as
Yeah.
I'm like trying to talk them out, I'm going through my notes. Okay, so in the next room there's 3, and the room after that there's 6, and the room after that there's 8, and the room after that
Yeah.
there's 4. Oh, and then we go upstairs and there's like another fucking 25 guys. Okay,
Yeah.
so like I just told you, hey, you need to be fucking quiet. Consequences are a thing here. And then they're like, nah, fuck that. Full spray and pray. And I was like,
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. No, you definitely murked the first 4 guys.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
want to
what
take
got
on
30.
the other 30? Yeah. And they were like, oh, we got this. I was like,
Like, no, you don't.
okay.
See, that's our problem with 5th edition of Pathfinder. They get
And
this
I
weird
rolled-
self-confidence.
I rolled every single dice in front of the fucking
Oh yeah,
screen.
yeah. I do
on
that all
purpose,
times.
just so
I do
go,
that all times. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
yeah.
I'm a man, I'm a very cinematic GM.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like the suspense of, did he cheat that dice roll?
Yeah,
'Cause,
see,
I
I don't
mean,
like cheating
9 times
dice
out of
rolls.
10,
So it's just
9 times out of 10, I'm cheating dice rolls in my players' favor because
Yeah.
it makes them look fucking cool and have fun, and I don't need my fucking level 4 kobold fucking assassin to be the coolest thing. I need them
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
cool, right?
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But
Right.
I always
so,
roll in
like,
front of
this
the screen
situation,
just
I'm
for
like-
it to be like, yeah,
nope, Nope.
Well, so for
Like,
me, it's like if the enemy they're fighting is an intelligent enemy, they're going to operate intelligently. They're going to actively be planning against the player. So I roll out in front of the screen because, well, whatever happens. They're going to do the thing that works best for them in this situation. They're not just there to be killed. They're characters that you have to overcome, and they're trying to survive one way or another. If you overwhelm them, they'll try and run. But if they overwhelm you, they're going to try and murder you. So if there's 30 of them and there's 4 of you, you have to figure out a different plan because they are going to outmaneuver you for one thing because there's 30 of those fuckers. And the second thing is, they have a lot more firepower. I mean, it is what it is. But I roll out in front of the screen for shit like that. I roll out in front of the screen for everything because, I mean, it's just like once you decide to make a decision, you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. I am just a reaction to how
when you
interact
fuck
with the world.
around, you gonna find out.
Yeah. Fuck around, find out. So
well,
it's like I'm a
I
reaction.
don't want to
so.
cut you off, but I am late.
well, All right. So do you want to give an outro real quick before we head out?
I can do that. I
I
can
did
give
the
an
intro, so you can bring the Noah energy for the outro.
outro.
Thanks for the follow, Leathercraft guy.
Let me get in the right frame of mind here. Hold on. Why is the rum always gone? Because Noah fucking drank it. That's why. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, for the 3 in attendance and the millions. Come on, Joe, finish it. And the millions
Sorry,
and millions watching at home.
Oh yeah, sorry.
This
My brain.
has been your weekly bullshit episode of the Degenerates with Dice Monday Night RPG Talk Show. I love my job. We've had Joe.
How's it
We've
going,
had
everybody?
Jen. And I don't know if she said it earlier, but I am the internet's favorite dipshit.
I
This has
did.
been-
I did.
did?
I made sure to do that in your intro.
Bless you, lady. Bless you. I love you so much. This has been, like I said earlier, another episode of the Degenerates with Dice Monday Night RPG Talk Show. I apologize for cutting this so short, but I got some family shit that I
You're
got to
good.
attend to. It's been kind of
You're good.
crazy around here.
Hey, Alexandria has some stuff going live at 6:30.
Let's
So I'm
fucking
guessing
go.
that's 6:30 past 6:30
Pacific time?
Pacific time.
Pacific. But you can catch
So,
us again
see,
next
there you
Monday
go.
night at 7 Central because all other time zones are irrelevant because
Yeah.
we're
That's
the only
because you
fucking
can't
cool
get
one.
to a fucking different time zone in Texas until the next day.
That is true. That is definitely fucking true. And I've driven that drive many times. So we will be here
It
next week, same bat
sucks.
time, same bat channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go play Heads Up with the fam and do
Alrighty.
hard shit for real.
No
Pray for my
doubt.
family.
No doubt.
All right.
Yeah,
been incredible,
everybody
ladies
go
and
check
gentlemen. I
out
will catch y'all next week.
Alexandria's RPGs podcast next. And yeah, back Neon Lords, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Let
Night,
me
guys.
Stop this stream. Good night.